Tonight, all of the day's major developing stories right here on Prime.
This week's horrific attack on the World Central Kitchen was not the first such incident. It must be the last.
The high-stakes call between the president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu one day after it was reported Biden was, quote, outraged by the Israeli attack that killed aid workers. Details of the call and what it means for America's stance in the war. Plus,
we need some answers. We need the truth of what happened because the situation is so unclear. So please, Mr. Biden, give us the truth of what happened.
So we hear from the partner of the American aid worker killed during that airstrike in Gaza, the message she is delivering to President Biden tonight. And
very, way too perfect or way too weird to, be real.
You know, you're just picking images that other people are going to see and compare themselves to. Part of me wishes that there were more, realistically human characteristics.
In tonight's Prime Focus, we dive into the AI company putting the power to determine what AI influencers think is cool in the hands of those who understand it the most, teenagers, as they create the next hot thing. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including the race against the clock for survivors in Taiwan following that massive earthquake there just 48 hours ago, the state of recovery. Plus, big moves from a powerful district attorney after nearly 24 websites are seized associated with a scheme known as pig butchering. We're going to tell you what that is and why it's so easy to fall for. And 77% more. That's how costly some grocery items are now post-pandemic. We're going to take a look at how far your money can really go at the supermarket. We take a look by the numbers. But we begin tonight with the major declaration by President Biden nearly 6 months into the Israel-Hamas war. Take concrete steps to address the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza or risk a U.S. change in policy. President Biden posted this photo of his roughly 30-minute phone call with Prime Minister Netanyahu today, the first since an Israeli airstrike killed 7 aid workers, including an American. The president called the situation unacceptable. Speaking in Brussels today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, and we'll quote it for you, "If we lose that reverence for human life, we risk becoming indistinguishable from those we confront." Vice President Kamala Harris adding in regards to Israel, quote, "If there are not changes to their approach, it is very likely we're going to change our approach." We are standing by to talk with the partner of the Canadian-American victim in that attack in her first TV interview. But first, ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has more on Biden's call with Netanyahu today.
Tonight, a major shift from the White House. In a tense 30-minute phone call, President Biden bluntly warning Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to take concrete steps to protect civilians in Gaza, or the U.S. will be forced to reassess its support for Israel's war.
If there are not changes to their approach, it is very likely we're going to change our approach.
It comes as the president has grown increasingly frustrated and outraged as the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza only grows more dire. This is the first time he's spoken with Netanyahu since Israeli airstrikes killed 7 aid workers delivering food for the World Central Kitchen. One of those workers, a dual American citizen, 33-year-old Jacob Flickinger. On the phone with Netanyahu, the president demanding an immediate ceasefire and calling for Israel to dramatically increase humanitarian assistance, open additional crossings, and reduce violence against civilians and aid workers. Until now, Biden has resisted calls to limit or condition U.S. military assistance to Israel, the administration recently approving the delivery of thousands more bombs in coming years. I pressed the White House on what happens if Israel doesn't meet the president's demands.
The president seems to have said to the prime minister today, make these concrete changes or else. It's the or else that I want to make clear here. Is the president threatening to withhold aid to Israel if they do not make these changes?
The president made it clear that our policies with respect to Gaza will be dependent upon our assessment of how well the Israelis make changes and implement changes to make the situation in Gaza better for the Palestinian people.
And how much time are you giving them to make these changes, to implement these concrete steps?
Again, we would hope to see some announcements of changes here in coming hours and days, and I'll leave it at that.
Mary joins us now from the White House. Mary, how is Israel responding to the president's warning?
Well, Phil, tonight we are now seeing signs that Benjamin Netanyahu is getting President Biden's message. Israel has just announced that they are going to be opening another border crossing to allow additional humanitarian aid into Gaza. And according to local media, the Israeli Defense Forces have just suspended 2 military commanders in response to the killing of these aid workers. Now, a White House official here tells me that they welcome certainly this news. They see this as a step in the right direction. The big question now, will this satisfy the president's demands? Phil.
All right, Mary Bruce from the White House. Mary, thank you.
Thank you.
Nearly 33,000 people have been killed in Gaza since October 7th. That's according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Many of those women and children, and more than 200 of those killed have been humanitarian aid workers. As we've reported, 7 more aid workers, this time from World Central Kitchen, were killed in Israeli missile strikes on Monday. Among those killed, Jacob Flickinger, a 33-year-old Canadian and American citizen who volunteered to distribute food in Gaza some 3 weeks ago. His death marks the first American killed by an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. Our next guest is his partner and the mother of their son, Sandy Leclerc. Sandy, right off the bat, words obviously will never be enough, but on behalf of all of us here at ABC News, we offer our profound condolences for your loss. What do you want people to know about Jacob, other than what they're seeing in the headlines?
Yeah, I hope people remember him as such a brave man that was willing to go help people.
It seems like helping people was just a part of his fabric, a part of who he was.
Oh yeah, it was deeply inside of him as a need to exist, of his existence.
How did you find out about what happened in Gaza?
The day that he was killed, I told him, please always say goodnight to me. And then I forgot that he didn't tell me goodnight this day. And then just a few moments later, I got a call from one of his coworkers saying to me that he was gone. And I am devastated by this news because he was a part of me. And he's such a loving father to his son. And I don't know how I will explain that to him, that he is now gone. So this is a lot to process.
I can't even imagine what that is to process. I'm wondering, have you gotten a call? Has either the U.S. or Canadian governments reached out to you at this point?
Yes, we have been having a lot of help with the Canadian government, and we are still waiting on the U.S. government to send out their help. We're waiting for that.
I'd like to know what you would want to say to world leaders.
I think that we need to bring more peace into this world. We need to find peace within ourselves and to spread that. I think that there's nothing great coming out of wars and these kinds of environments.
You say he had already done his time in the military, and he had been to other countries for Canada, right? He was part of the Canadian military.
Yes.
And then he still chose to go and do this.
Jacob was always a warrior, always a fighter, and he would always fight to bring more peace into this world. So that's what I will explain to him, and we will keep remembering every day of our life. And he will always be part of our family in the spirit, and we will always remember how brave he was. That's what I'm going to tell my kid.
The leader of the World Central Kitchen, Jose Andres, says the aid workers were actually targeted. He's been on point about saying that over the last couple of days. President Biden says he was outraged, or reportedly outraged by the killing. Is outrage enough? And what would you tell President Biden today?
I would tell him that we need some answers. We need the truth of what happened, because the situation is so unclear. So please, Mr. Biden, give us the truth of what happened.
Cindy Leclerc, thank you so much. Thank you for telling us about Jacob, sharing a little bit about this extraordinary person who was your partner and the father to your beautiful son. I really appreciate your time, and just again, our thoughts and our hearts are with you. Our best.
Thank you.
And now to the powerful nor'easter slamming the East Coast, triggering a travel nightmare. More than 1,500 flights canceled in the past 2 days alone. And a stunning moment, lightning struck the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. Look at that picture. Widespread outages reported in New Hampshire and nearly half of all customers in Maine. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano with the details.
Tonight, massive trees crushing homes, knocking out electricity as a powerful nor'easter turns deadly. In Derry, New Hampshire, one person was killed in a house fire when a tree fell on a propane tank and exploded.
There was a juvenile that was also in the home and has been transported to a Boston hospital at this time.
More than a foot of snow in parts of Maine. ABC's Morgan Norwood in South Portland.
Huge trees just like this are down all across the state, bringing down power lines and leaving more than 300,000 homes and businesses in the dark. You can see crews here are racing to get everything cleaned up, but look, it can be days before power is back on.
More than 700,000 homes and businesses losing power across nearly a dozen states. Chainsaws buzzing in the Bronx. Crews cleaning up one of hundreds of trees and limbs that came down around New York City. North of the city in Armonk, a 50-year-old mother and wife of a New York Yankees executive killed when her car was crushed by a falling tree. The nor'easter showing her teeth at high tide in Situate, Massachusetts. Massive waves crashing over the sea wall.
I could hear the wind. It sounded like a train at my house.
North of there in Salisbury, so much sea foam, they had to use plows to get it off the roads.
How bad do you think this storm is?
As bad as it gets. The system also causing major disruptions to air travel. More than 13,000 flights canceled or delayed in the last 48 hours.
So let's bring Rob in from Boston tonight. Rob, this storm is still churning.
It is, and the rain's turned to wet snow now here in Boston. It's going to hang around, the low is, for a couple of days. And as you know, this combination of heavy wet snow and wind is a bad combo. That's why we had all those power outages. The wind is dying down, I'll give it that. But another 6 to 12 inches of wet snow over the next 36 hours is certainly possible northern New England and across the northern half of upstate New York before it begins to wind down come Saturday. Meanwhile, the next storm up, next cross-country storm, is hitting Northern California right now. Heavy rain in San Francisco, snows into the Sierra. The rain gets down into Southern California. A lot of wind energy with this and heavy snow in the Intermountain West. All that energy gets into the plains, the southern plains especially. And come Monday and Tuesday, it looks like a pretty significant severe weather threat, especially Monday afternoon in Texas, where, as you know, that the path of the totality for the eclipse is happening. I think clouds could be an issue, at least there. So come Monday afternoon. Phil?
All right, Rob Marciano from a cold and wet Boston tonight. Rob, thanks. The Federal Aviation Administration is now investigating a major U.S. airline over a pretty close call with an air traffic control tower. The FAA launched a probe after a Southwest Airlines plane veered off course and flew dangerously close to the control tower at LaGuardia Airport in New York last month. Officials say the incident happened during bad weather when the plane flew as low as 300 feet before being diverted to Baltimore. It later flew back to New York with all 150 passengers and crew. There are harrowing new images of the deadly earthquake in Taiwan, and tonight, the urgent search for survivors continues. Crews rescuing people trapped in damaged buildings, then demolishing those buildings before they have a chance to fall. Dashcam video circulating online shows a boulder crashing onto a road and, as you see, right onto a car. And these nurses in a maternity ward trying desperately to protect the babies. Hundreds remain stranded or trapped, and 7 Americans were among those rescued today. Marcus Moore on the story again for us tonight.
Tonight, shocking new dashcam video circulating online showing the moment a boulder crashes onto a road and into a car, triggered by that powerful earthquake in Taiwan. Just one day after the island was hit by its most powerful quake in nearly a quarter century, new video showing nurses in a maternity ward scrambling to hold the baby bassinet steady during the tremors. Emergency efforts now underway in the mountainous region of Hualien. Firefighters airlifting out the injured, 7 Americans among those rescued today. Excavators clearing roads in the search for hundreds of people still trapped or missing, many of them in Taroko National Park, a popular tourist attraction. This group of hotel workers stranded in an open tunnel on the side of a gorge, waving to a drone that was sent to see if they were okay. David Chen, a security manager at the hotel, finally reuniting with his family, describing his harrowing rescue. As we were leaving, rocks were still falling, Chen adding he's lucky to have survived. The quake leaving more than 70 miners trapped in rock quarries. Authorities tonight saying dozens of them have been freed. And in the city, crews demolishing badly damaged buildings, fearing they might collapse even more. But experts say Taiwan's strict building codes and rigorous earthquake preparedness has helped keep the death toll relatively low.
And Phil, that death toll is up to at least 10, with hundreds still trapped or missing. And there's concern tonight that over the next few days, rain could complicate the rescue efforts. Phil.
All right, that's the last thing they need. Marcus, thank you. Federal and state authorities are ramping up efforts to clear the debris from Baltimore's collapsed bridge and then recover the bodies of the workers still missing in this accident. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says it is working on stabilizing and removing the Dali container ship and clearing bridge debris from the murky water and poor weather conditions are not helping. But the top priority is finding the 4 bodies of workers still missing. The engineers expect to open a limited access channel within the next 4 weeks. A major setback now for Donald Trump, the Florida judge in his classified documents case rejecting his motion to have the case thrown out based on the Presidential Records Act. But the judge also taking a swipe at special counsel Jack Smith as well. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, a Florida federal judge rejecting Donald Trump's effort to get the classified documents case against him thrown out of court. Trump had argued the Presidential Records Act gave him the right to take those classified documents and that the case should be dismissed. Judge Eileen Cannon, who Trump appointed to the bench, ruling that the case should go forward. But in her ruling, the judge also takes a swipe at special counsel Jack Smith, rejecting his call to explain her controversial suggestion that she might instruct a jury to consider Trump's claims that the classified documents were his personal property. Smith called that notion fundamentally flawed and wrong, insisting it would distort the trial. He demanded that the judge clarify her intentions. Tonight, Judge Cannon refusing to do so, writing, "The court declines that demand as unprecedented and unjust."
Pierre joins me now. Pierre, what options does special counsel Jack Smith have remaining here?
Well, the judge is suggesting she's in no rush to resolve a potential clash over jury instructions, telling the special counsel he can try to force her hand if he wishes by appealing. But tonight, no response from Smith's team as tension in this case continues to build, and Phil, a trial date has yet to be set.
All right, Pierre Thomas, thank you. And a note tonight on the centrist political group No Labels. It has bowed out of the 2024 presidential election. The organization releasing a statement saying they were not able to find a candidate that could credibly contest and win in November. The group has vowed to remain active, though, ahead of the polls after gaining ballot access in 21 states. It is one of the biggest cash heists in Los Angeles history, up to $30 million in cash stolen on Easter. Here's ABC's Victor Akendo with details on how the thieves got in and how they got away.
Tonight, one of the largest cash heists in LA history. The LAPD and FBI now investigating the theft of up to $30 million from a money storage facility, according to law enforcement sources. Those sources saying the theft happened in this Garda-World facility in Sylmar. The thieves entering the building through the roof Easter Sunday. They then accessed the money storage area, which may have been a vault. No alarms were set off. The next day, the company, noticing the money had been stolen, part of the side of the building now boarded up.
These take a lot of planning. These are folks probably a little older that know how to organize, that probably have done surveillance, that may have inside information, and they planned this out.
A facility employee shocked, asking not to be identified.
The place is pretty secured. Alarm system, they check to make sure that the alarm is set up. It's a shocker.
Victor joins us now from Los Angeles. Victor, what else do we know about the type of facility these thieves targeted?
Phil, facilities like this one store money and valuables for companies and individuals. Garda-World has not commented, and right now, police don't have any suspects. Phil?
Amazing. All right, Victor Oquendo, thank you. Authorities in Oklahoma are looking into the suspicious disappearance of two mothers who left to pick their kids up and never made it. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly were driving together to pick their children up when they went missing. Their vehicle was found abandoned over the weekend in a remote area near the Kansas border. There have been no arrests in this case, and the local sheriff says they could be in danger. We are getting new details tonight into that 6-car wreck involving Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. His attorney confirms he was driving that Lamborghini in the high-speed crash in Dallas that sent multiple people to the hospital. Maria Villarreal has the latest.
Tonight, through his attorney, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice says he was driving this Lamborghini, speeding down a busy highway in Dallas, losing control and causing a chain reaction crash.
Every question that was asked of him, he responded to the Dallas Police Department. And we will continue to cooperate with them.
The 6-car collision captured on this driver's dash cam shows Rice racing a Corvette, multiple drivers losing control. 2 of the 4 injured sent to the hospital. Nearly a week after the hit-and-run accident, Rice, who was not at this press conference, instead breaking his silence overnight through social media, taking full responsibility, posting, "I sincerely apologize to everyone impacted."
He's going to be responsible for making certain that the victims are made whole as best possible.
And Maria joins us from Fort Worth, Texas right now. Maria, is there any information on why Rice left the scene without checking on the other victims of the crash?
Well, Phil, that's the exact question I asked. Why did he walk away? And, when we asked that question today, his attorney kind of smiled us and said, listen, with the possibility of charges being filed in this situation, we do have that information, but we cannot release it just yet because now it is a part of the larger criminal investigation. So more to come on this for sure. Phil?
More to come indeed. Maria Villarreal. Maria, thank you. And a warning tonight, beware of cryptocurrency scams. The Brooklyn District Attorney's Office has seized nearly 24 web domains linked to a scam called pig butchering. Prosecutors say scammers befriend unsuspecting victims online, often via text, that eventually steer people to bogus cryptocurrency investments. According to prosecutors, the masterminds rely on human trafficking victims in Southeast Asia to entrap investors here via text messages, dating sites, or WhatsApp groups. There is still more to get to here tonight on Prime, including this high-pressure situation in Manhattan, a massive water leak from a New York City high-rise, what the fire department found on site. But next, who do you follow on social media, and are they even a real person? With artificial intelligence proliferating on screens everywhere, we take a deep dive into the big business of AI influencers and the teenagers behind their profiles as questions arise about their place in the future of social media.
She doesn't have hair. Should we actually sponsor her for a hair campaign? She doesn't work out. Should she really be taking our supplements? Her body is not real.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines. From southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
first thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carry, innit?
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David.
I'm David Muir. I know who you are.
You
Watch
do.
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Monday afternoon, all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more in a minute. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone light. Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine. A little bit of sunshine. Good morning, America.
Welcome back. AI isn't just taking over music or even writing essays. It's also entered the world of social media influencing. You can find a variety of profiles with a large following, but how do they keep it? Well, one company behind these AI influencers are enlisting the experts on everything trendy, teenagers. And they're not just telling them how to stay relevant, but also pointing out what could be done better. ABC's Emmanuel Saliba with the details.
You might have come across one of these influencers on your social feeds without realizing that not a single one is human.
They all have different names and personalities.
Well, my favorite ones are Agnes, and she's kind of like a dark academia, like a writer.
Sid, which is like a seaside kind of seaweed girl.
And then there's Billy, who's like this cowboy, and then he's also like a drag queen, which I think is pretty cool.
These AI influencers were created with the help of humans like 16-year-old Sawyer and Eden. They are paid by a startup called Lee, which says it's creating an ecosystem of AI-driven micro-influencers they call entities.
So we have co-creators that help with actual entity development, so the virtual influencer themselves, what do they look, feel, move through the world like, but also what is the content that they're putting forward.
Sawyer and Eden were part of a small group testing the concept earlier this year.
You click on some images, just kind of sort through them.
You're like, oh, this one is like too symmetrical, or it's like too perfect.
See, she's got only 4 fingers, it looks like. And she's also eating full apples with chopsticks. That's not realistic.
Like this one, for example, I think that's like very much what Agnes likes. So like I just like go in and like pick it, and then it gets sent, and that's really it.
Lead says they will soon launch another group of creators who will be able to control an AI persona via an app. But this startup isn't the first to venture into the world of entirely synthetic influencers. In 2016, another company introduced Lil Miquela, an AI-generated character with a total fan base of over 7 million across platforms. And it's not just the large following. Miquela is partnering with brands like BMW, PacSun, and more.
I think I realized that AI influencers were here to stay when I started seeing them doing video and doing it in mass, right? Because first, it popped up with Miquela a couple of years ago, and it was kind of cool because she looked a little uncanny valley. You could tell that she wasn't quite real. It was interesting what technology could do. And then they started doing video, and it would be, doing a hair video, and they were talking about how they love their new hair product, but it wasn't real.
Human influencers like Danae Mercer are warning their followers to be careful about what they consume on social media.
It is not even based in the foundations of reality. It is not taking my face and popping a filter on it. It is creating something probably often to suit the male gaze that is hyper realistic. So I hope you have brands saying like, wait a second, she doesn't have hair. Should we actually sponsor her for a hair campaign? She doesn't work out. Should she really be taking our supplements? Her body is not real. But what about the teenage girl that looks at this very delicate, impossible standard of beauty and starts comparing herself to that and sees brands endorsing that and sees that person getting Instagram fame, which in today's world is currency for teenagers? What about that girl? You know, and that is where Instagram and social media needs to step in and say, this isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real.
Now that I've kind of familiarized myself with a lot of different AI images and, you know, what to kind of look for, it's easier to point out the kinds of things that AI gets confused about.
AI stuff looks very filtery and very like way too perfect or way too weird to like be real. The makeup will look perfect and the lighting is perfect and the angle is perfect. Like that's not usually what happens in human photos.
You know, you're just picking images that other people are gonna see and compare themselves to. Part of me wishes that there were more, you know, realistically human characteristics.
Like everything, there are limitations to where the technology is today from an image generation standpoint and how raw that looks. What can we do that's proprietary to make some of these images a little bit more real?
The Partnership on AI, a nonprofit coalition committed to responsible use of AI, has created a set of guidelines for social media companies to ethically distribute and label AI-generated content.
There's a general push in the field for broader transparency about identifying and noting to audiences in different contexts. You want to know that what you are seeing is truthful in terms of the narrative and what they're presenting, not necessarily just the tool that they used to do that.
Meta says they label photorealistic images created using their own AI tool, but they don't require users to label AI-generated influencers created using other tools. Users on TikTok must clearly disclose all realistic AI content. And both platforms say they are working on tools that could detect and automatically label AI content.
There's a visceral appeal to putting a little mark on TikTok or a mark on Instagram that says this is fake. But whether or not people care and whether or not that will be applied in a context that matters is a big open question.
AI is going to become more and more like prominent kind of in like social media world and just like society in general. So I think it's like good that like younger people and older people too like get to like play around with that.
In a 2023 study, more than half of a group of influencers polled said they were already using AI as part of their work. 34% said they used it to generate images or videos.
Ultimately, I'm personally able to like understand what's real and what's not. Seeing it used in like a creative way makes me kind of, you know, hopeful that it's not, you know, being used to just like destroy artists and all this terrible stuff that you think about.
Just because something's AI generated doesn't mean it's problematic or deceptive. We need to make sure that while it may seem fine for influencers to be, you know, saying that this new lip gloss is really meaningful, we don't want that same technology to be used to cast doubt on much more, I would argue, high stakes use cases than lip gloss.
Yeah, no doubt the conversation around AI in every aspect of our lives will continue. There is still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, they are accused of traveling the country to perform medical procedures illegally. The injections a mother and daughter were arrested for. But next, feel like grocery prices just keep going up? We're going to tell you how far your money goes now compared to before the pandemic. By the numbers.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you. Thank you. David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Monday afternoon,
I'm looking up.
all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run this nothing down. That's what I'm about. One right, one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families.
One right, one.
Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in the crowd.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me.
Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
I'm Rachel Scott on the campaign trail in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. The good news tonight, after years of sticker shock, the price for food that you buy at grocery stores has finally leveled off. Notice that we are carefully using our language and saying leveled off, not decreasing. And that's the bad news. Most economists do not see a return to pre-pandemic food prices, and that is tonight's By the Numbers. Remember when the price of food seemed to never change? That truly was the case from 2014 to 2020, a glorious 6 years when grocery store prices were generally flat. The pandemic, of course, changed all that in one 12-month period. From August 2021 to August 2022, prices jumped 13.5%. Supply distributions, labor shortages, higher transportation costs, of course, all to blame. That period was the worst, but until recently, grocery prices have actually ticked up every month for 4 grueling years. The Wall Street Journal this week, using Nielsen IQ data, tabulating the cumulative effect on our grocery bills, a $100 tab from 2019 today, almost $137 for staples like milk, eggs, coffee, butter, flour, sugar. Some of the most painful increases coming from stuff that we buy regularly. Cooking oil up 54%, beef 51%, and mayonnaise up 50%. Meantime, the cost of food at restaurants has not leveled off either. Restaurants and takeout prices continue to rise, up 5% in just the past year. There's much more ahead here on Prime. We talked to actress Elizabeth Hurley and her son Damien about their upcoming film Strictly Confidential. Damien writing the screenplay, even directing his mom. And up next, the new bill in California that would make it illegal for employers to regularly contact their salaried employees after hours.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky, Minneapolis, Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska. Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Monday afternoon, all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more and I'm into it. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone like everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start Here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. An EV slowdown, a baseball team moving to a new city temporarily, and the new push to make it illegal for your boss to bother you after hours. Imagine that. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
Pedestrians near Manhattan's West 42nd Street might have thought it was raining earlier today as a torrent of water burst from a New York City high-rise. It's not clear exactly what caused the leak, but firefighters responded and shut off the building's water until they found the leak's source. No one reported injured. An undercover sting operation has arrested a mother and daughter accused of traveling the country and performing illegal butt enhancements. Consuelo Dolbol's LinkedIn page refers to her as a 56-year-old professional makeup artist. Investigators, though, claimed she and her daughter were also performing illegal buttock enhancements using dangerous injectables and charging $6,000 for each procedure. Police arrested them both when they arrived back in the Houston area from a California trip where it's thought they had done another injection. A court has yet to set their bail. Ford is delaying the release of some upcoming electric trucks. An EV pickup is now set to enter production in Canada in 2026. An SUV will join it the following year. Ford had planned to release them both next year. That delay comes as EV sales growth has slowed. Electric saw just under a 2% increase in the first quarter. Ford's crosstown rival, General Motors, also recently announced delays for its next-gen EVs. They're now set to enter production in late 2025. The average rate for a 30-year mortgage ticked up slightly this week from 6.79% to 6.82%, according to Freddie Mac. Rates have fluctuated slightly over the last few weeks. Economists think that rates will ease this year, but not until the Federal Reserve begins cutting the benchmark interest rate. 2 years ago, the average rate for a 30-year mortgage was 4.72%. The Oakland A's are soon to become the Sacramento A's before the team becomes the Las Vegas A's in a few years. The Athletics and the city of Oakland have a sour relationship as the team gets ready to pick up and move to Las Vegas. They had been in talks to extend their time at the Oakland Coliseum until that new stadium is ready in Las Vegas. That did not work out. So now the A's say they will play at a minor league baseball stadium in Sacramento beginning next year until the new stadium is ready in Las Vegas around 2028. What would you think about legally being allowed to ignore any after-hours calls from your boss? It's called the right to disconnect, and a new bill would give workers the legal right to ignore calls and text messages from their bosses after work hours. The California bill would mandate employers clearly outline normal working hours and guarantee uninterrupted personal and family time outside those hours. It would also apply to all public and private employers. Exceptions would include emergencies and scheduling calls.
Now to an exclusive first look at a new report out about video games, finding that some may actually leave players vulnerable to scams and theft. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with details.
A new warning for Americans who spend $57 billion every year in the virtual world of video games.
We want to make sure it's not a haven for fraud, scams, and abuse.
Rohit Chopra is the head of the CFPB, the government agency charged with safeguarding Americans' finances. He gave GMA an exclusive first look at a report highlighting how using virtual currencies to buy coveted items like vehicles, weapons, or characters could put real money at risk.
What's pretty obvious is that their financial incentives are for players to spend as much as possible.
I think sometimes it's confusing as to what's real money and what's, fake money.
It's a lesson Michael and Jennifer Ferry's 8-year-old son Joey learned when he unintentionally racked up $4,000 in charges on his parents' credit card.
What was it like looking at that statement and seeing all of those charges?
I lost my mind.
After months of trying, the Ferrys finally got a full refund. But the new report warns gaming accounts often lack the security and protections of traditional bank accounts, leaving them open to hacking, account theft, scams, and unauthorized transactions.
When we have a fraudulent charge on our credit card, we can fight it. Many times you see on these gaming platforms, there's really just finger pointing or not really taking accountability.
The Entertainment Software Association, which represents the video game industry, tells us we are committed to providing players and parents with transparent information and tools to make appropriate choices for themselves and their families, including the ability to manage in-game purchases, limit or block communications with other players, and manage when and for how long their children can play.
What would you say to critics who say it's not really the CFPB's role to be looking at the video game industry?
I think we shouldn't think of this as traditional video games. It's an immersive world where there is its own economy. But what we want to make sure is that it's not just a way to sidestep existing rules.
Our thanks to Elizabeth Schulze. It is a new challenge for Elizabeth Hurley. The actress has already had iconic roles, as you know, in films like Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, and Bedazzled. That was a great one. Now she's taking on a lead role of the thriller set in paradise film Strictly Confidential, written and directed by her son, Damian Hurley. Let's take a look.
Thank you for coming. I know it wasn't easy.
I'm sorry for vanishing. It's just, after everything, your husband and Rebecca, I was totally out of my depth. I never meant to hurt anyone.
All right, Elizabeth and Damien Hurley join us here in studio. We are so happy that you both have stopped by. Thank you so much. I watched the movie today. This must be like the biggest proud mom moment ever. I can't even imagine your son on, I mean, I know he's been on set your whole career, but basically directing this movie, writing and directing.
To be in charge on set was quite a coup for him. He's 22 today. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. And last night was our premiere in New York, which was such an exciting night for us. I think everything just really just felt amazing, didn't it?
Yeah. It's been such a long journey. I mean, this has been the last 2 years of my life, a good 18 months of yours, and it's been, yeah, it's coming together. It's kind of terrifying. I'm really excited for people to see it.
I know she's just mom to you, but was it intimidating at all to be directing Elizabeth Hurley in a movie?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, so when I first wrote this part, and I said to Mum, you know, will you come aboard? It was a tiny part. It was a little cameo. And, you know, I said, you know, Mum, will you come on? Will you be in this film? You know, I've been making little short films since I was 8. And always, my mum always said, the very first real movie you make, of course I'll come and be in it, which is easy to say to an 8-year-old. I probably called her on it a little sooner than expected. But, you know, so I just said, look, this is a tiny cameo. It's a flashback. It's actually a character who's dead. So you're just standing beautifully on a hill as a ghost. And, you know, 1 or 2 days shooting in the Caribbean, then you go home. And she was like, sure, of course I will. Then I flipped the genders of the lead husband and wife in the film, and the husband was dead and the wife was alive in what was the husband's role.
Now you need a wife.
Yeah, and so I duped her. So she'd already said yes, and I said, look, obviously you can say no, read the part, see what you think, and thank God she loved it and signed on.
And obviously you love your son, but what was it like working, you know, working for him, but he's directing you in a movie?
Well, truthfully, I liked it more than being directed by anyone, I think.
Oh.
He basically directs me in real life anyway, by now. He had been through his short movies, but also he's such a help with everything I do. He's always been on my sets. He's always run lines with me. All the other actors on every set I've ever been on love him. And this was no different. So it just felt kind of natural that he was, you know, behind the camera and in charge, and I almost always obeyed you. And it was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it was, I think also,
almost
you know...
always?
You
heard that, right?
No, but I think, you know, when you're incredibly close, we have this sort of twin-like telepathy. And I think, you know, when you're making an independent film, we shot this whole movie in 18 days. So every moment mattered, every second counted.
And the thing that a lot of people are focusing on is you have this scene in the movie with one of these other actresses. It's an intimate scene. Your son is director of the movie, so you get the question, how awkward was that?
Well, I think as an actress, if you shoot a very emotional or very intimate scene, you really have to put your trust in the director who's shooting it, the cinematographer, but then so many other people get involved. You know, the studio, the editor, the this, the that, the marketing people. And it can leave you feeling a little exposed sometimes and nervous about what the end outcome is going to be, which could have been a very pure, beautiful scene you initially shot. I didn't have any doubts about that going into this, so therefore I felt much freer and more liberated because I was producing it, so I also had a bit of a say on what came later. But in Damien's hands, I knew if he got a piece of unfortunate footage, I knew it would not be in the movie. Even if a marketeer wanted it, I knew it wouldn't be in the movie. I knew he'd take care of me and the girl I did the scenes with in the edit, in the post-production. I just knew he'd take care of us. So it just actually felt incredibly liberating, like a big weight's come off your shoulder, just thinking what I don't have to worry about is being so protective of myself, just in case I'm exploited by someone else, because I knew he wouldn't exploit me. But you have to trust. There's a great deal of trust, and sometimes that trust you're not putting into the right hands.
Really, on your 22nd birthday, and this is your feature directorial debut, which is really cool. I know this was personal. It was 2 years of your life, 18 days of shooting. But what do you hope you want people to come away from this with?
You know, I think as entertainers, our job is to entertain. And I think, you know, while this film does deal with some heavy and intense themes, it's not a depressing, horrific movie. You know, I hope people find it beautiful, engaging, interesting, and come away and have really enjoyed themselves, really, you know, feel better than they did when they started watching the movie. And I think that's really what cinema's main purpose is now.
Damien, Elizabeth Hurley, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the movie, the directorial debut, and your birthday. And you can watch Strictly Confidential coming to theaters and on demand tomorrow. Also tonight, the eclipse across America. We'll be showing you everything as it happens. For some, this will be the first time seeing it, but imagine seeing it a dozen times in your life and counting. World News Tonight anchor David Muir had a conversation with the man who's been here before and also our senior meteorologist.
Tonight, preparing for the eclipse across America. It's on Monday, and we'll be on the air live right here on ABC to show you the whole thing Monday afternoon. And in Fort Worth, Texas, no one is more excited than Laverne Beiser, 105 years old.
It's a picture of the sun.
He's been chasing eclipses for decades. It all started in 1963, packing his Oldsmobile station wagon, driving more than 2,000 miles from Fort Worth all the way to Maine. That's him with his own instruments, capturing it all. Laverne and his wife Marion seeing 12 eclipses together over 60 years. New Mexico back in 72, Williston, North Dakota in 79. He took that picture. And in 2017, watching from Beatrice, Nebraska. This year, the eclipse coming right through Texas. Laverne won't have to go far. And right here tonight.
Hi, David.
Laverne on his 13th eclipse at 105.
The corona opens up, and that's a beautiful sight to see. So if you're close to the path of totality, be sure to drive in there and see it.
Millions of Americans like Laverne will be along the path of totality, more than 2,000 miles long across 15 states. And as of tonight, who will get the clearest view? Here's Rob.
Yeah, David, it's a little bit more complicated with this eclipse because it's coming in early spring where the atmosphere is obviously more active, and it's going to be that way in Texas, unfortunately. Threat for severe weather the day of the eclipse in Texas, so clouds are going to be an issue. Places like Waco and Tyler and even Dallas, and the overall flow is not really a dry one, so cities up the line like Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Buffalo, hopefully just some thin clouds, but I think that area is going to be touch and go day of. What looks best for clear viewing right now is in northern New England, including Burlington, where you will be stationed, David. I mean, we certainly hope, and we're rooting for everybody to have a clear sky of this eclipse come Monday. David?
All right, guys, thank you very much. Fingers crossed, I guess. David, thank you. If you plan to watch the eclipse from the comfort of your couch, you can tune in to Eclipse Across America with special coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, with the main event starting at 2 p.m. anchored by David Muir and Lindsay Davis, right here on ABC News Live. And that's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Good night. And coming up in the next hour, tax day is fast approaching, and it's time to file those taxes if you haven't yet, though the scam you should be on the lookout for. And the crown jewel in France taking shape once more, the amazing new look at the progress at Notre Dame after that fire that is now 5 years ago.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it. Not a tear in it. How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you. Thank you.
David, good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Monday afternoon, all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We've got a lot of news to get to tonight, beginning with the major declaration by President Biden nearly 6 months into the Israel-Hamas war. Take concrete steps to address the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza or risk a U.S. change in policy. President Biden posted this photo of his roughly 30-minute phone call with Prime Minister Netanyahu today, the first since an Israeli strike killed 7 aid workers, including an American. The president called the situation unacceptable. Speaking in Brussels today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, quote, "If we lose that reverence for human life, we risk becoming indistinguishable from those we confront." Vice President Kamala Harris adding in regards to Israel, quote, "If there are not changes to their approach, it is very likely we're going to change our approach." ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has more on Biden's call with Netanyahu today.
Tonight, a major shift from the White House. In a tense 30-minute phone call, President Biden bluntly warning Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to take concrete steps to protect civilians in Gaza, or the U.S. will be forced to reassess its support for Israel's war.
If there are not changes to their approach, it is very likely we're going to change our approach.
It comes as the president has grown increasingly frustrated and outraged as the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza only grows more dire. This is the first time he's spoken with Netanyahu since Israeli airstrikes killed 7 aid workers delivering food for the World Central Kitchen. One of those workers, a dual American citizen, 33-year-old Jacob Flickinger. On the phone with Netanyahu, the president demanding an immediate ceasefire and calling for Israel to dramatically increase humanitarian assistance, open additional crossings, and reduce violence against civilians and aid workers. Until now, Biden has resisted calls to limit or condition U.S. military assistance to Israel, the administration recently approving the delivery of thousands more bombs in coming years. I pressed the White House on what happens if Israel doesn't meet the president's demands. The president seems to have said to the prime minister today, make these concrete changes or else. It's the or else that I want to make clear here. Is the president threatening to withhold aid to Israel if they do not make these changes?
The president made it clear that our policies with respect to Gaza will be dependent upon our assessment of how well the Israelis make changes and implement changes to make the situation in Gaza better for the Palestinian people.
And how much time are you giving them to make these changes, to implement these concrete steps?
Again, we would hope to see some announcements of changes here in coming hours and days, and I'll leave it at that.
Our thanks to Mary Bruce. Joining us now for more is Associate Director for Peace and Security at Oxfam, Scott Paul. Scott, thanks for taking the time. Let's dive right into this. Today you called the killing of the World Central Kitchen workers systematic. What have you seen that's led you to that?
What's happened this week is tragic, but it is not anomalous.
I think it's a collective failure on all of our part that the outrage we have mustered for the 7 people working for World Central Kitchen who were killed this week, we haven't managed to muster for the more than 200 aid workers who were killed over the past 6 months. I say it's systematic because it's part of an ongoing pattern. We know what the problems are, we know what the solutions are, and nothing is changing. And if we expect anything to change without a marked shift in policy on the part of the Israeli authorities, we should be prepared to be disappointed.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit. The UN spokesperson says that they see a blatant disregard for international humanitarian law in Gaza. Do you think this amounts to war crimes?
We've seen war crimes on the part of the Israeli authorities and, of course, on the part of Hamas going back to October the 7th. But yes, this is a particular kind of attack that we've seen carried out on a, if not daily, then certainly weekly basis. This is why now Gaza is the most deadly place for aid workers, not just now, but it's the most deadly conflict that we have recorded for quite some time. And the reason is because it appears to be a free fire zone. There are processes that aid workers typically set up with militaries to make sure that the militaries know where aid workers are, to make sure they know that they'll be safe. Those processes have failed. But let's also remember that those processes are meant to be a last resort, a fail-safe. The first resort is that militaries need to understand where the military targets are and only fire on those military targets.
Yeah, and when we get statistics like this, that children are surviving trying to eat grass, 245 calories a day. Now, in light of this latest attack, less aid will get in. You know, I hear what you're saying, and I hear what everybody, you know, the world doesn't want this to happen, but what has to happen right now in Gaza for all of this to stop?
There needs to be a ceasefire, full stop. There is no alternative to a ceasefire. And the reason is because aid workers cannot safely provide for the basic needs of 2.2 million people in Gaza while this level of hostilities continues. I should add, by the way, it's not just humanitarian assistance that needs to flood the zone. It's commercial activity. It's basic services that have been cut off since October 8th, because humanitarian assistance is never by itself going to meet the needs of 2.2 million people. But as a starting point, there needs to be, and this isn't just an expression of our values and hope that people are safe, because we do hope that people are safe, but it's simply not going to be possible to scale up to manage what is likely already a famine in the north and prevent what is likely to even will be a larger famine in the middle and southern parts of Gaza that we're on track for at the moment.
You know, Chef Andres has said that he was in contact with the IDF and all of their movements were being relayed to the IDF in lieu of a ceasefire, which, you know, people are trying to get their heads around right now. What actually has to happen to protect the aid workers who are still bringing that crucial humanitarian assistance to the people there in Gaza?
Well, there is no in lieu of a ceasefire. I'll accept the premise just for a moment to say there is more that can be done to protect aid workers. For a start, the basic rules of engagement that the Israeli military is following has to change. There can't be an assumption that when you don't know why someone is moving around, that they're targetable or they're considered military. It can't just be left up to the process by which we transmit our coordinates to protect people, because even if we do that, it still means that the vast majority of Palestinians who are civilians, who are not combatants, who are not fighting against Israel, will still be vulnerable. You need to flood the zone, not just with food, but with malnutrition interventions, medical interventions. And that is not possible so long as this level of violence is present and so long as this level of obstruction is present.
Yeah, that's what people have to realize. Past the point of just food, there's so much other aid that needs to get in there. Scott Paul, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Now to the powerful nor'easter slamming the East Coast, triggering a travel nightmare. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano with the details.
Tonight, massive trees crushing homes, knocking out electricity as a powerful nor'easter turns deadly. In Derry, New Hampshire, one person was killed in a house fire when a tree fell on a propane tank and exploded.
There was a juvenile that was also in the home and has been transported to a Boston hospital at this time.
More than a foot of snow in parts of Maine. ABC's Morgan Norwood in South Portland.
Huge trees just like this are down all across the state, bringing down power lines and leaving more than 300,000 homes and businesses in the dark. You can see crews here are racing to get everything cleaned up, but look, it can be days before power is back on.
More than 700,000 homes and businesses losing power across nearly a dozen states. Chainsaws buzzing in the Bronx. Crews cleaning up one of hundreds of trees and limbs that came down around New York City. North of the city in Armonk, a 50-year-old mother and wife of a New York Yankees executive killed when her car was crushed by a falling tree. The nor'easter showing her teeth at Hyde's Hide in Situate, Massachusetts. Massive waves crashing over the sea wall.
I could hear the wind. It sounded like a train at my house.
North of there in Salisbury, so much sea foam, they had to use plows to get it off the roads.
How bad do you think this storm is?
As bad as it gets.
The system also causing major disruptions to air travel. More than 13,000 flights canceled or delayed in the last 48 hours.
So let's bring Rob in from Boston tonight. Rob, this storm is still churning.
It is, and the rain's turned to wet snow now here in Boston. It's going to hang around, the low is, for a couple of days. And as you know, this combination of heavy wet snow and wind is a bad combo. That's why we had all those power outages. The wind is dying down, I'll give it that. But another 6 to 12 inches of wet snow over the next 36 hours is certainly possible northern New England and across the northern half of upstate New York before it begins to wind down come Saturday. Meanwhile, the next storm up, next cross-country storm, is hitting Northern California right now. Heavy rain in San Francisco, snows into the Sierra. The rain gets down into Southern California. A lot of wind energy with this and heavy snow into the Intermountain West. All that energy gets into the plains, the southern plains especially. And come Monday and Tuesday, it looks like a pretty significant severe weather threat, especially Monday afternoon in Texas, where as you know that the path of the totality for the eclipse is happening. I think clouds could be an issue, at least there. So come Monday afternoon. Phil?
All right, Rob Marciano from a cold and wet Boston tonight. Rob, thanks. There are harrowing new images of the deadly earthquake in Taiwan to bring to you, and tonight the urgent search for survivors continues. Marcus Moore on the story again.
Tonight, shocking new dashcam video circulating online showing the moment a boulder crashes onto a road and into a car, triggered by that powerful earthquake in Taiwan. Just one day after the island was hit by its most powerful quake in nearly a quarter century, new video showing nurses in a maternity ward scrambling to hold the baby bassinet steady during the tremors. Emergency efforts now underway in the mountainous region of Hualien. Firefighters airlifting out the injured, 7 Americans among those rescued today. Excavators clearing roads in the search for hundreds of people still trapped or missing, many of them in Taroko National Park, a popular tourist attraction. This group of hotel workers stranded in an open tunnel on the side of a gorge, waving to a drone that was sent to see if they were okay. David Chen, a security manager at the hotel, finally reuniting with his family, describing his harrowing rescue. As we were leaving, rocks were still falling, Chen adding, he's lucky to have survived. The quake leaving more than 70 miners trapped in rock quarries. Authorities tonight saying dozens of them have been freed. And in the city, crews demolishing badly damaged buildings, fearing they might collapse even more. But experts say Taiwan's strict building codes and rigorous earthquake preparedness has helped keep the death toll relatively low.
Marcus, thank you. There is still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, we sit down with the director of a new series that takes a closer look at the human cost of the Lone Star State's biggest moneymaker. But next, 5 years after a fire engulfed Notre Dame, the beloved and now restored cathedral in Paris is nearly ready.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling
traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news. Monday afternoon. I'm looking up. All eyes to the sky. For a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo Wild, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a carry in it.
How important it made the USA.
Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
I'm Aaron Katursky at the Trump Building on Wall Street. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We are tracking several headlines around the world at this hour. Friends and relatives in Mexico bid farewell to Celaya mayoral candidate Bertha Gisela Gaitan. The candidate was shot dead during an event on the first day of her campaign. Despite having requested security protection from authorities, she received no response. The 38-year-old former litigator was the only female candidate in one of the deadliest cities in the world and one of the most dangerous places to be a police officer in North America. The Spanish Coast Guard service rescuing 73 migrants from a wooden boat in the seas off the Canary Islands. Footage showing some injured migrants and a child being helped after the Coast Guard vessel towed the wooden boat to a port nearby. Officials say the Atlantic route to the Canary Islands is currently the busiest for irregular migration from West Africa into the European Union. And take a look at this amazing drone video showing the Notre Dame spire and that golden rooster sitting on top. Inside, most of the scaffolding removed, unveiling restoration work done on that stained glass, the wooden carvings of the choir, and the refitting of some 8,000 pipes of that great organ. April 15th will mark 5 years since the fire in 2019. The plan is on track to reopen on December 8th. Well, they say you can never go home again, but 3 Texas filmmakers are putting that to the test, actually going home in this new docuseries, God Bless Texas. Each episode of this 3-part series chronicles the complex history of a region in the Lone Star State, examining the toll that the prison system, oil business, and border laws have had on the communities there. Take a look.
Within Texas big oil lies a paradox. It is the lifeblood of so many, while simultaneously wreaking havoc on those same people's lives, the environment, and communities directly around them. But if you depend on big oil, it's heresy to bite the hand that feeds you.
Joining us now is Emmy Award-winning filmmaker and director Alex Stapleton. Alex, thanks so much for coming in and talking about this. This documentary is a trilogy with each episode directed by a different filmmaker. In your episode, which is called The Price of Oil, we see you travel back to your hometown outside of Houston as you look at the oil industry's impact on Black communities. What was your first thought when you saw this project?
When I saw the finished project?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was really blown away at what the 3 of us were able to it's such a personal journey for all 3 filmmakers. And these are really big, hot topic, you know, issues, but we really wanted to personalize these stories to show you how complex, you know, the solutions can be.
3 very different backgrounds of the filmmakers. Why was that important?
Texas is not a monolithic culture, and it was really important with this trilogy to kind of myth bust, you know, what people think about when they think about Texas. But Texas is super diverse. Houston is one of the most international cities in the country, almost beating New York with that title. And it's incredibly important to understand that we all have, you know, such a huge piece of the the puzzle of Texas, the paradox of Texas. We've all contributed. All of these cultures have contributed so much to the state. So
I think it's really good reminder that nothing is really a monolith. Like it's and you guys point that out well. In your particular episode, we see you working to uncover the history of Black Texans, and in doing so, you look at your own family's history, interviewing your aunts, your uncles, cousins. What was it like to document your family history in this way?
Oh my goodness. I was just so proud of my family for being vulnerable, opening up, sharing, our story. We've been there for 7 generations, and I was really impressed that my family was willing to talk about our history, but also to talk about these issues that plague our community.
And the intersection of racism and environmentalism, which I found very interesting. And how does that relate to your family specifically?
Environmental racism is something that if you've heard that term before, it's very rare for people to understand the portraits of, the real human impact that has. When we talk about fence line communities, like, we don't really understand that, in most places, those are Black and brown communities that are hit the hardest. And so I wanted to kind of just show this one tiny, sliver through my one family in a state of millions of what we have gone through.
What do you hope for Texas?
I hope that for Texas, we really start to conquer our identity in a real true way. I hope that we embrace history in fact. I hope that we fight back against the erasure that is currently happening with the leaders in charge of the state, just trying to book ban, or they're not trying to, they are.
There are actual book bans.
Yeah, and I want us to rise to the occasion to push back on that. But I also, we made this for people outside of the state. It's also just as important for non-Texans to watch this and understand what we're going through.
Perhaps even more at times, because
Absolutely.
those who live in Texas understand a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic, and it's really nice to meet you, Alex. Thank you so much. And we want to let you know the HBO original documentary trilogy, God Save Texas, is now available to stream on Max. And still to come, our weekly segment, TikTok, where we're joined by Preacher Lawson to discuss his second stand-up special. Stay with us.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast, honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, start here.
What would you do if you saw this?
He seemed very uptight.
Because you're asking me to go to your hotel room.
What's the big deal?
A young woman being harassed by her manager.
You know how the music industry works.
Would you step in to help?
Are you okay?
Like these everyday heroes?
Yeah, I just got some weird vibes. Do you want to leave with me? Come on. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Hi, ma'am. That was amazing. You're still shaking.
I wanted her to be okay.
What would you do? Sunday night, all new on ABC.
You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run this nothing down. That's when you come down. One by one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families.
One by one.
Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in a crowd.
Monday afternoon, all eyes to the sky for a total solar eclipse, a breathtaking celestial event. ABC News, together with National Geographic, with ABC's David Muir and Lindsay Davis reporting. Watch it all on ABC News Live, National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo One, Disney Plus, Hulu, and live on ABC. Eclipse across America, Monday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern.
We turn now to our weekly segment, TikTok, where we take a closer look at the story behind the sensation. It's his trademark high-energy style and family-friendly humor that fans know and love. Preacher Lawson isn't just his name. It's what he does best. He preaches laughter on stage and to his 3.4 million followers on TikTok. Let's take a look.
My mom named me Preacher.
I didn't think of it. People think I thought of it. I didn't. I'll tell people my name is Preacher, and they're like, there's no way he just said Preacher. I'll be chilling in Walgreens, minding my own business, out of nowhere, Preacher Lawson. People think because I'm a comedian, I was the class clown, but I wasn't. I was super quiet, right? Unless everybody was quiet. Then I was like, all right, I'll take it from here. And then I get in there.
I love that. Not the class clown until everybody's quiet. Yeah. Preacher joins us here in studio. Hey, it's so great to have you. It's always great to have someone in TikTok here in the studio rather than on Zoom. We are here to celebrate, first and foremost, your second stand-up special, My Name is Preacher.
Yes.
I know you wanted to see that in the...
My second stand-up special, man.
Yeah, your second stand-up special. It's on YouTube. Is this set apart from your other one in any way, or is this more Preacher?
Yeah, I mean, it's both, right? So it definitely is more Preacher, and it's definitely set apart because the first one I think is great. It's on Amazon. Go check it out. But
glad you like the final product.
Yeah. But the second one is definitely growth. Like, if you don't like me, you're not gonna like me, you know. But if you like me, you gonna love this next special, you know. But even if you don't like me, you're gonna be like, oh, he got better. So, you know, I think
most improved.
Yeah. So I think this next special is just a step up, and I'm a little more open than my first special, and I think it's great. I'm really excited about it.
You use it in part to share moments from your Best Day Ever comedy tour as you sell out venues worldwide. That's got to be nice still to hear.
Pretty nice.
Talk about that experience so far.
That's weird. I mean, I did my first European tour last year in the summer, so that was pretty cool. I didn't know people knew me over there, and I went to a bunch of cities and, you know, countries I didn't know existed. But I know them now. And it's pretty fun, man.
It was season 12, right, of America's Got Talent. I remember seeing you on that season, and I just want to make, I didn't vote, but I didn't vote for anybody. I'm one of those people, and you pointed this out to me.
He's the reason I lost.
Right, I'm not the reason
you are the reason.
But you pointed this out to me. I've watched all these talent shows, and when I love people, I just never pick up the phone and vote. So I'm sorry about that.
I didn't vote for me either.
Yeah, but you were fantastic, and it's not hurt your career at all.
No.
What do you like better? Because you do comedy, sketch comedy, TV. You like TV or live audiences better?
Oh, stand-up by far. It's not even close. I mean, if I did some live TV, that'd be awesome, but I'd be doing it just so it can proliferate my career as a stand-up comedian.
That's what really you thrive on.
Man, I love stand-up comedy. I get to be myself. I mean, you get paid to be yourself. That's the best job ever.
Yeah, and is this what we see you say is who you are? Like, have you always, from the time you were a kid, just like talked with your hands, with your body, use your whole body for the comedy?
Yeah, Jim Carrey's one of my favorite, you know, people.
Okay.
You know, so he used to hurt himself for laughter. I remember hearing him say that in the interview, and I was like, I should hurt myself for laughter. So I just kind of carried that.
Just finally, what's next inside and outside of comedy?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep traveling. I got my third special I'm working on. Wow. So if you watch my second and you come see me live, I'm not doing any of the material you've seen in my first and second special.
It's all stuff for the third.
It's all new. It's all on my third special. And I want to put that out. And then I want to, you know, I'm still auditioning. We'll see what happens there, and just keep going.
All right. It was so great to meet you.
Thank you.
To put a face to the comedy, at least in person. Preacher, thanks for joining us. You can check out Preacher on TikTok at Preacher Lawson for all sorts of comedic antics, as you see right there. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
And that's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. And you can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com. Have a good night.
Monday afternoon. I'm looking up.